Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. I'm here with Jay Jankowski from San Francisco, and he came all his way from San Francisco to Berlin for our workshop this weekend. For all the people who don't know you yet, maybe it would be great to just introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you usually do in your life? And how did you come to playing the piano?
Yeah, I'm originally from South Bend, Indiana, but I've been living in San Francisco for quite a long time. I work in healthcare. We do healthcare insurance for people that can't afford their own in the city of San Francisco. And I'm a healthcare data analyst, so I write algorithms, I identify populations that we can help better, that aren't, taking care of their health as best they could. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and piano. I started piano when I was growing up as a young kid. My mom raised me like a single parent, me and my brothers, and after school we would go to the neighbor's house, and she had an old upright piano. And when I was there, I was just I just wanted to sit at the piano, and there's something about it that drew me to it, like the sound and just the whole mechanics of it. And she saw that in me, and she recommended to my mother that you should send me to music, like a local music school. So throughout my life, I got into it. I was at this conservatory, South Bend Conservatory of Music. I started getting older, and we were just studying classical music, but then I got into the point where I don't like classical music anymore. I wanted to learn more pop music. So I stopped there. Then a few years later, we had a teacher that would come to me, a younger guy that would come to my house and taught me some of the popular ballads and stuff. So I liked that a lot. And then I stopped for a while, I think through high school, and then I went to college at Indiana University in Bloomington, and I studied piano with a doctoral student, not as my major, but just as a hobby for 3 years, and so that was really fun. And then I moved to San Francisco right after college. I didn't have a piano for a while, but actually it was really sweet. My friends all chipped in for my birthday one year and just bought me an old upright piano. And so then I started playing again, and then I eventually bought a nicer piano, and I've been studying at this little community school called the Little Mission Studio, and I've been taking lessons again for almost 3 years.
That's really amazing, and I remember that you've actually bought a new grand piano just a few years ago. What made you decide, okay, right now is the time for me to really go deeper into that matter?
I had an old, it was like a 5'8" baby grand piano, and it was really old. It was over 100 years old, and it wasn't like a well-known brand. And the mechanics of the keyboard, one key might be really hard to push down, one might be really soft. So it's trying to have good articulation or touch was kind of impossible. But I loved it. I had it for a while, and then when COVID, when things started opening up, was kind of bored, we're locked down and stuff. So I decided, then the shop started opening, and I bought a brand new Yamaha grand piano, or kind of a grand piano, parlor piano. And so that kind of motivated me to start lessons again. And then when things opened up, I found this little music school. And I love it, I love the piano. It's just so much different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we had a coffee the other day, you told me that the piano is the one thing that takes you out from your daily stress, daily life. Yeah. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the experience, what music gives you, especially actively making music, because many people, of course, listen to music and love music, but what's the difference for you in actually playing yourself to just listening to music, and what does it give to you?
Yeah, as we all know, life can be really challenging at times, and I tend to have some anxiety, sometimes in my life, depending on what's going on. And piano is the only thing that I found that I can just sit at, and just you're so focused that I forget about everything in the world. So it's kind of a nice, constructive, positive escape. What you might need at some time. And I don't know, it could be as simple as just playing a couple notes and just listening to the sound and the resonance and or reverberation. And it's just something that makes me feel good, and just sometimes fun to improvise. It probably doesn't make sense to some people, but I just love the sound it creates. I guess I'm very auditory or audio. Yeah. It's just it relaxes me, and I just love creating that sound.
Yeah, I remember the other day you posted. We have our mentoring group, and you posted this audio file with you just improvising. I was really surprised because we usually work more on interpretations, but it was really great, and I always encourage people to improvise. And I could really hear that you really dive into that sound and start exploring. What's the difference for you in creativity to actually improvise or to to just play and work on your interpretation with other pieces, and what is the benefit of both for you and your journey?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more different from an emotional perspective, and for some reason one of my favorite keys is C sharp minor because it's kind of dark. And it's a different kind of escape where I feel like it's just your own creativity. You know, you're expressing yourself more emotionally because you're not focusing on having to learn the notes on the page or whatever. So I really enjoy that part of it, and just the ability to create something that sounds nice to me. And it's kind of like you just experiment. You know, you're not like kind of like limited by what's on the score. You know, you make maybe a lot of mistakes, or you may hit some notes that make no sense, you know, but it's just fun. It's like that creativity outlet. And then studying a piece, you know, you're more focused on learning the notes and the techniques. So, and that's really important, obviously, to improve your piano playing. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just more of like your own creative outlet versus you first start learning a piece, but then there's that creativity once you learn the piece really well, like how you can express, you know, or articulate, or, you know, if you will. Yeah,
one of your great achievements in the last months where you were actually performed on stage.
Oh yeah.
You had little performances, and we talked about that how you got there, and it were actually really great performances. You also shared a video. How is that journey for you as a non-professional? Because in the professional world, of course, we deal with that all the time. Since we're little kids, we are actually sent on the stage to perform. Yeah. What was this experience like for you? How did you feel before the performance, during the performance, after the performance? Would you say that's something that you would like to do again? And how was that overall experience?
The history of my piano learning, it was something like deeply personal to me. So I wasn't, during those earlier years, I wasn't learning because I wanted to perform. It was, again, it's kind of like my escape, you know, and my little creative outlet. And you know, my friends knew I was playing piano. They might hear me a little bit, and they said, play something for us. And I was like, no, I was too shy, you know, or too like nervous about it. So my teacher in San Francisco, he just encouraged me, like, I want you to, you should do a recital. You should do a chamber music ensemble. And I said no for like maybe about a year, because I was like, I just can't imagine like just being in front of people, and people can come that aren't in the school to, you know, watch. And but I just finally did it. And so my first experience was a chamber ensemble course, which was a 3-month course, and then you're assigned a coach, one of the faculty, and it's not necessarily a pianist. Like, for example, my first coach was a flautist. Mm-hmm. It was a whole different experience that I really enjoy. You know, like to learn to play with other musicians. It's a different skill set that you don't learn just playing solo. My biggest challenge during that part of that course was if you make a mistake on the piano, you can't stop. Like, you know, they teach you that through the training, because when you're on stage, you just can't stop and try to pick up and start over. And that was what I always did when I would play just for myself, reading a piece. So that was a hard skill to kind of master. I mean, I haven't mastered it completely. So I did 2 chamber music ensembles, which I love. And I think one thing that I also felt better about it is that, you know, you're at the piano, then the other musicians are in front. So you get to kind of hide behind. So that felt a little safer, you know, just to start out. Yeah. Of course, I was very nervous, like even like driving to the school before the performance, I just kind of got nervous. But, you know, you try to do certain things like being mindful or taking some deep breaths. And during the first performance, you know, I can see my hands shake because I was so nervous. But it was fun, you know, it was fun. But then afterwards, I still had that nervousness with me. It still stuck with me for a while. Like, you know, after I was done, I get to watch the other performances. And then after that, I did a recital, just some 2 simple pieces. And then I decided to do another chamber ensemble. And yeah, I love it. You know, it's really, I want to do it more. You know, they offer it every quarter, but I think I'm going to do it like every 2 quarters. It's just a different, it's fun. I think it's fun. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you like the challenge. Yeah, facing your nervousness and then getting over it, and actually sharing music with other people is something you started enjoying. Yeah, that's really cool. I have one last question, and because you have all these things where you are, you have the teacher, you have the community, you have concerts, etc. What made you come over to Berlin for this specific workshop? I'm just curious myself. What is it that motivated you to fly over to Berlin to actually also meet the other people here in the academy?
Well, I think I first discovered you, I think it was on a Facebook, Instagram feed, because I follow other pianists, you know. And we chatted a little bit, right, probably on Instagram for a while. I'm just learning about what you're doing. And then you have the other group, the piano mentoring or pain without pain and frustration. Yeah. So I followed that. And then I finally just decided, I think it can be very beneficial when you have different teachers, because I think they can teach you something different. I saw a big difference once I signed up and I started doing the course, a big difference in the approach of your approach versus my current teacher, who is actually a professional cellist, but he also knows piano quite well. And I appreciate your approach because I think as a kid back then, I didn't learn the technique very well, and I probably learned bad technique. And like we were talking about, sometimes I get fatigued holding stress. You have told me let's not do that yet. It's a little bit too challenging for you. We need to work on your technique on something more simple. And I think that's a really important piece, a part of the learning to get better, and improve your expression on the keyboard. Yeah, so I'm I think I've been following you and I watch your performances and I think you're an amazing pianist. And
thanks.
I can see, even this weekend when you're working with other students on the keyboard, that you love teaching and you're very passionate about playing, which I think is something really special. And I'm I want to experience this. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to meet you and then meet the other people from different parts of the world. And so, it's like a nice community, Yeah. And it's just been fun since being here. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, I also enjoy the community aspect, of course, to have this community, and I think that's what you basically said is you like this kind of honest feedback, and really detailed work. And if you also want to learn and how you can overcome your fatigue in your arms, or how you can deal with the nervousness when it comes to performances, and how you can gain the confidence that you can actually interact with the group here, play for each other and work on your skills, then you can apply now for a free piano lesson with me, a first free strategy lesson where we analyze where you are right now, what your challenges are, and how we can get you from point A to point B. Sign up at aaronpilsan.com/academy. And thank you, Jay, for being here.
All right, thank you.
And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we see each other again in the next video.
Thank you.